Welcome to the demonstration for searching archives. This demonstration reinforces the concepts covered in Lesson 12 of the Enterprise Vault 10 for Exchange Administration course. In this demonstration, we will examine the different ways to search archives. In this demonstration, we will investigate the Enterprise Vault user search capabilities, including integrated search, browser search, and Archive Explorer. In the first section of the demonstration, we will archive emails for search using the integrated search, including the brief indexing level impact on searches. We're starting off on the client, and we're going to send an email from Liz Waldron, or L. Waldron, to Graham Smith. Graham Smith currently has their indexing level set at brief, and we're going to see what impact having that indexing level set on brief has on sending this item to Graham Smith, archiving it, and then searching for this mail message. So we'll go ahead and click our new email button, and we'll put Graham Smith's name in our to field. We will type in a subject here, and then we're going to type in a body. And our body is going to be greater than 100 characters long so that we can see that the shortcut that's configured by the mailbox policy does truncate at 100 items. And we will also see that the word holiday is in the body. It's not in the subject, but it is in the body. So let's go ahead and send this to Graham. And now what we want to do is that we send it to Graham. We want to switch over to the Enterprise Vault server and archive all the mail messages in Graham Smith's archive. So I switch over to the Enterprise Vault server, server 2. I have the Vault Administration console open. So now I just need to get to the mailbox task. So I'll expand my Enterprise Vault servers, expand EV server, click on my tasks, come over and select the Exchange Mailbox Archiving task for server 1, and select the Run Now. The last time that we ran this, the run mode was in archiving only, but we want it to be in archiving and shortcut processing, so we'll change that. We do wish for it to archive all the items in Graham Smith's mailbox, but we only wish to archive Graham Smith's mailbox. So we'll go ahead and select the option for Select Mailboxes and then click OK. And where we have the filter mailbox list, we'll use the display name and it contains the word Graham. We'll go ahead and click OK. And sure enough, it does find our mailbox that we're looking for. So we'll click on Graham Smith here and select Graham Smith. And then we click OK. And we get our message box that the processing has successfully launched for Graham Smith. And then we can go ahead and click OK. So it should be archiving all those messages to Graham Smith. So now we're going to switch back over to the client machine. And on the client machine, we want to log off L. Waldron and log on as G. Smith. So I'll go ahead and close Outlook. And then we'll come down and select our Start button. And then we'll click our arrow next to Shutdown and select our Log Off option. And then we are working with virtual machines, so I'll come up to the virtual machine interface and send the Control-Alt-Delete command. And we do want to switch over to Graham Smith, so I'll click my Switch User, and select Other User. Type in G. Smith, example \G Smith for username. Type in Graham's password. Go ahead and click my arrow to log in. And now we want to start up Outlook so we can do an integrated search. So we'll click our Start button, select Microsoft Outlook 2010. And now to do the integrated search, we can see the messages here. Urgent message for G. Smith. It has been archived. So we'll go ahead and go up and select the Enterprise Vault tab of the Office ribbon. And we'll open up our integrated search by clicking the Search Vaults icon. And we're going to look for the word holiday because that was in that message that we just sent. And then we click our Find Now button. and it comes back and it doesn't find that message because Graham Smith's indexing level is currently set to brief, so it's only storing the metadata associated with the message and not the actual contents. So what we want to do is we want to go and change the indexing level for Graham Smith to full. So we'll go ahead and go back over to server number 2. So we'll close Outlook first and log off Graham Smith. I click Start, and then my shutdown arrow, and then log off. And now I'll switch over to the server 2. And now on server 2, I need to go to Graham Smith's archives. So I'll select the Exchange mailbox. And then I open up the properties of Graham Smith's archive. Select Properties. And then we want to select Indexing. And now that I've selected the indexing option, you can see that Graham was at brief, and we had done this in a previous demonstration, change it to brief to cause a mismatch for different types of indexing. So I want to change it back to full, and then we can go ahead and click OK. And now we need to restart the task controller service. So I'll go ahead and come up here to Services, right click on the task controller service and select Restart. And we can see that the service is stopping. Now the service is restarting. And just to make sure, we'll go ahead and do a refresh here. So I'll select Action and Refresh. And it does show the task controller service is currently running. Now what we'll do is we'll switch back over to the client and log back in as Liz Waldron or L. Waldron. So now I'm back on the client. I go up to my virtual machine environment to send the Control-Alt-Delete command. I click my switch user, select other user, and I type in L. Waldron's login, example, /L. Waldron, type in her password, and I go ahead and click my arrow to log in. And now we need to open up Outlook again. So we'll click our Start button, select the Microsoft Outlook 2010, and send 3 new messages. So I click on my new email. It's going to be to Graham Smith again. Type in a subject line. And I want the word holiday to be in the body. And then I can click Send. Then we'll do it again, new email. To Graham Smith. Again, a short subject line is fine. And again, the word holiday in the body. And we click Send. And then for one last message, we click our new email button. Select Graham Smith in the To field. Add our subject line. And this time we're going to type in a body that has the word holiday, but is also greater than 100 characters. And this again is once it's archived and the shortcut processing takes place, we'll see that it is truncated to 100 characters. So I go ahead and click my Send button. And now we want to switch back over to server 2 again. Okay, we'll close Outlook first and then switch back over to server 2. All right, we'll go ahead and log off L. Waldron first. Now we'll switch over to server 2. And now on server 2, we're ready to archive Graham Smith's mailbox again. So I can go to my Exchange mailbox archiving task, select Run Now. I'm still doing the archiving and shortcut processing. Click OK. Type in Graham. Click OK again. I select Graham Smith from my list. Click OK. And again, it was successfully launched for the archiving task. So I click OK again. And now we switch over to the client and log on as Graham Smith. So I come up to my virtual machine environment, send the Control-Alt-Delete, switch the user, select the other user, type in G. Smith's login and username, type in the password, click my arrow to log in, and then we want to start up Outlook so we can do the integrated search again. So I select my start, Microsoft Outlook 2010, and you can see the 3 messages, Test 1, Test 2, and Test 3 have been archived. We want to open up our integrated search, so we'll click our Enterprise Vault tab on the Office ribbon, start the integrated search by clicking the Search Vaults. Once again, we'll look for Holiday, and we'll click our Find Now. And we can see that we find our Test 1, Test 2, and Test 3 items. We can see in Test 3 it is cut off at 100 characters for the shortcut. And that's the integrated search feature, and also looking at the fact that because Graham Smith originally had their indexing level at brief, it didn't find the first message that had Holiday in the body. But once I changed it to full, it was able to find all 3 messages that had Holiday in the body. It still doesn't find that first message because it doesn't re-index unless you go back through and do re-indexing. It won't be able to find that item. So now let's look at the functionality associated with the browser search feature. So I'll go ahead and click on Browser Search. Actually, before we do the browser search, let's just verify that we can open up a message. So if I click on the message, you see that it does open up. Go ahead and close that message. And now we'll click on our browser search option. And now in our browser search option, we're going to look for the items that contain Holiday again. So under our content, we'll leave the qualifier as contains any of, and we'll type in the word Holiday. And we are searching Graham Smith's vault, so go ahead and click search, and it does find the 3 messages. And I can go ahead and open one of the messages up, and you can see that it opens the message up in the browser window. If I want to see it in its original format, I can click on the View Whole Item option. And it asks me what I want to do, save it, and you can see it's making it into an MSG file extension. So I'll go ahead and click Open, and it does in fact open it up in an Outlook window. I can go ahead and close that. And then I want to go ahead and restore some items. So to show you the restore functionality, I will click my back button to take me back to my search. Then I will place a check in Test 1 and Test 2, which are the 2 items that I wish to restore. And then I can add them to my basket. And you see it creates the basket name for the vault. And we can go ahead and select the restore option. And we're going to change the basket name to be Interesting Items. And you can see that it will send it to a subfolder of the Restored Items folder, which is what we want. So we go ahead and click the Restore button. And you can see we get a status. It's currently restoring. After a period of time, it should go back to restored. So you can see it has switched over to restored. And then we want to go back to the Outlook environment to see if it has in fact been restored. So we'll go ahead and close our browser window. We'll select our restored items folder. Actually, we're going to select the inbox first, and then we'll go to the restored items folder. And you can see it didn't actually put it at the restored items, but if we expand the restored items, you can see it did create the interesting items folder. And if I select that option, it has in fact restored test 1 and test 2 to the interesting items folder. The next section deals with the functionality of our Archive Explorer. So we'll come up here and click on Archive Explorer in our Enterprise Vault Office ribbon. And you can see that the Archive Explorer opens up in a web browser window, and that's because in an earlier demonstration we had changed the functionality of the desktop policy to have the Archive Explorer open in a browser window. So it is a hierarchical view of Graham Smith's archive. So if I expand Graham Smith, and then I can select the inbox, I can see all the items that have been archived in Graham Smith's inbox. I'm going to select the urgent message that we had sent originally and show you that we can open up items from the Archive Explorer. So that particular message has opened up. And you do have some of the archiving functionalities here from the Enterprise Vault toolbar options. And now what we're going to do is change some of the settings that we have available for how we display the messages. So we'll click the settings, and you can see the original one opened up in the web browser. We want to change that to open up in an Outlook window. So I select Microsoft Outlook and click OK. And then if I open up the message a second time, you can see that it opens up in an Outlook window. So we'll go ahead and close that window, and we'll set it back to the web browser settings. So I click on my settings, select web browser again, because that's where we want to leave it for the future, and go ahead and click OK. And now we want to look at some customization that we can do inside of the Archive Explorer. So if I go ahead and right-click anywhere in the Archive Explorer, I'll get a pop-up that will give me the display options. And when I click the display options, you can see I've already got the retention category turned on. I can turn on the auto preview, and you can see that there is a preview of the messages there. And then I can actually even show the preview pane. If I right-click again and go to my display options, I can select preview pane, and you can see that the preview pane opens up inside the Archive Explorer. So that's some of the functionality associated with the Archive Explorer. So we'll go ahead and close that. We'll go ahead and close Outlook. And that brings us to the end of this demonstration.